Welcome, listeners. This is the one about how to influence people's minds and closing a sale if you need to do that. Of course, we're always selling ourselves anyway, so that's a good thing to know. How to get your way with customer service agents. This is a big thing people have asked me all the time. How do you get things done? I get things done for my friends all the time. Well, the key is to be friendly. Be a friendly person. Be a happy person. People like people who are happy and friendly. So that's something you can work on yourselves. If it's your nature to be, that's wonderful. If it's not, there's nothing wrong in working on it to become that. Be interested in other people. Be interested in other people's needs. So whenever I talk to a customer service agent, I realize that if they're in a good mood, they'll want to help. So the idea is to put them in a good mood. So what do? Whenever you're calling an airline, a hotel, anybody on the phone that you need to get something done, there's no harm. And when they answer and they say, hello, this is so-and-so, whatever, say, hi, this is whatever your name is. How are you today? And say it genuinely. Because most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, they'll say to me, thank you so much. No one ever asked me that. So it puts them in a good mood right away. It makes them want to help you. And then, depending what the problem is, if it's a hotel, an airline, if it's something you're trying to get back, a refund, let's say you didn't cancel in time and they charged you one-night hotel, that happens sometimes, or you have a flight that you have to cancel at last minute, or you'd like something refunded. So the first thing to determine is the thing you're asking for your fault, or is it someone else's fault? The airlines, the hotels, whatever. You take a different course of action. If it's your fault, own up to your own mistake. They like that. People yell at them all the time for things that are not their fault, and they love being told that someone takes responsibility for their actions. So if you fail to book on time or cancel on time or something you failed to do, then just tell the agent, this is totally my fault. I did this, I didn't do this in time, and this is the one exception rule. It's called a one-time exception. You say to them, but would you please consider making a one-time exception and allowing this refund to go back on my card? And I will try to keep, I'll do it by the proper rules the next time, but this one time would mean a lot to me. One-time exception gets me 90% of things changed for people. So, for example, my nephew was taking a trip to Utah, and his nanny, which accompanies him with his 3 kids, couldn't make it. She was booked on the flight, and she had a family emergency. So we got another nanny to take her place. Well, if you know airlines, the problem is that when you make a ticket in someone's name, they don't want to change it. It's just, it's a rule. They just can't swap out someone's name. And there was no seats left in the plane. She had the only seat there. So what I asked for was a one-time exception to Delta. I said, could you please, he has to have a nanny sit with the kids. He and his wife were in first class. The nanny was with the kids in the back. Please allow an exception. We've got to get a credit. So I try to think of a solution. When you're talking to them, try to think logically and present a logical plan that they can follow. In this case, I said, make the credit to my nephew who paid for the ticket instead of to the woman that he paid it for. Then he can use the credit to put it in the new nanny's name, which we got done. It was amazing because that's a miracle by itself. And then after that, we had to get the one seat back, because when you put a seat back into inventory, you don't get it back automatically. It's not an automatic thing. And they held that seat to put it back to the new nanny's name. Got it all done, no fees, nothing. And it just was a miracle. But this happens all the time when I do this for friends. Airlines, hotels, just tell them, it's my fault, I did this, but please, would you consider a one-time exception? Or sometimes I say a one-time, lifetime exception. I'll never ask for a favor from you the rest of my life. And they laugh and they joke, but it's being friendly that helps you get the things done. I made a reservation at a hotel recently, and I made it for a basic room, and I spoke to the night clerk, and I said, hi, how are you tonight? And he said, great. I said, I'm sorry to call so late. And he said, no problem, I'm until 7 in the morning. Okay. I said, I'm coming in, so-and-so a date, and I'm only a gold member with Hilton. And I said, I just wondered, I know you have an upgrade package available, usually, if it's available, if the room is available, but what is the best room in the house? And he said, well, that would be this particular suite. The suite was 1,200 square feet, and it was 5 levels up in stature from what I was qualified for. A gold member goes up 1 level. I booked it, and he raised me to that just because I was nice to him. He put me in the $1,200 suite in that particular location. Good things happen all the time when you're nice to people. Make friends with people. Laugh with them. Joke with them. You can ask somebody, what's good to see in the area? Sometimes, you book a reservation for 1 night, you change your mind, you want to go 2 nights, and you find out that the rate for that second night is very high. So instead of booking it at the high rate, call the front desk, get a hold of a nice agent, and say, I'm staying in the area, and I wondered what different things there to do, have a conversation, and say, you know what, I was going to stay 1 night, but I think after talking with you, I'll stay 2 nights. Would you please do me a favor and extend the reservation 1 day? And they will normally extend it at the same rate without going into the new reservation and looking what the rate is now. They just extend it 1 day. Things can be done if you're nice to people. Be interested in other people, have conversations, and neighbor talk with them. This is something I'll cover in a minute when I cover sales. You have, let's see, let's take, generally, if you're selling an idea to someone, a concept, you have an idea in your mind as to what the reason is that your customer should buy it. Always think in your mind, how is your product or service good for them? Whatever you're doing, if you're selling yourself as a person, why are you good for that person? Why are you good? Why is your product or service good for the person you're selling to? And transfer the image that's in your head to their head. Once they see what you're seeing in your head, then it's a natural progression to say, okay, I'm in, because they get it. So present a logical case. When I went to law school, and one of the things I learned there was never, when you're grilling a witness on a witness stand, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. So in any case where you're selling yourself, if you're asking them something, just know that you've got an answer that they're going to want to hear to solve whatever problem they have. Be a problem solver. And that's one of the things that could set you apart from other salesmen that are coming in. Also, other salesmen come in all tough and, yes, this is what we have, and they're very rigid in their presentation. Be natural in your presentation. I call it neighbor talk. Just like you went to a neighbor and you asked to borrow a cup of sugar. Hi, pardon me, I'm out of sugar. Would you mind? Could I just get a cup of sugar from you? Really appreciate it. If you talk in a natural tone and not in a sales tone, no one wants to buy anything these days. I don't care if it's an individual buying you or if it's a customer. No one wants to be sold. They want to sell themselves. So just let them understand where you're coming from, talk naturally, and just say, this is what we have. In your particular factory, you've got this situation, and this is what we found out. What we have is something that can answer that by doing this, this, and this. We do it for less money, we do it faster, and we do it cheaper than the competitor. Would you like it Wednesday or Thursday? I mean, you can close on an alternate choice once you presented a logical conclusion. Would you like it in red or green? And then I always like something called feel, felt, sound, found. If you're talking to someone and they have an objection, then you can say, I know how you feel. So you're acknowledging their thoughts. People want to be heard. So I know how you feel. In fact, other people felt the same way. But when they found out that our product did it this way, when they found out this information, they realized that this will solve the problem. So in other words, be supportive of their thoughts, but show them how other people also had the same concern, but how you solved that concern when they found out X, Y, Z, whatever it is. That's called feel, felt, found. And if for any reason someone doesn't buy the sale, they just say it's not for me. You can always use the lost the lost sale approach. And what this is to say, I understand this is not for you. I understand that you don't need it, don't want it, but just to clarify my thinking so I'm better for the next person I present it to, just so I understand what went wrong, could you tell me, was it the fact that we do it better than the other companies that you mentioned? Was it that we can deliver faster that you didn't like, that we can deliver faster than the other people? In other words, resell your advantages in the lost sale close. Was it the fact that we are the nicer people to deal with, we have better customer service, we listen to your needs? Maybe this isn't what you wanted, but which of the things that we're mentioning now are the things that really turned you against us? You try to find, they laugh and you laugh, and you never know. You could end up with someone saying, you know what, I like your style, I'll give you the order, no problem. And then deliver. Whatever it is you promise. I don't care if it's an individual you promise to or a business, whatever you're doing in life. If you promise someone something, do your utmost best to deliver, because they will value when you deliver. And if for some reason you can't deliver on something, call them and let them know, we promised delivery on a certain date. We absolutely can't do it. We'll make it up to you. This is how we'll compensate, but I promise you this is the new date it'll be there. Be honest with them. They will value honesty. So this is in the way of influencing how a person thinks. They will look at you how you dress when you come to a sales call. When you go out on a date, they will look at you how you dress. Anything in life, they will look at certain things. But more important, they'll look at your confidence. They'll look at how you carry yourself. How do you present yourself in life? Are you relaxed? Are you confident? Do you feel like you have value in what you're offering? If you believe you have value, they will see the value in you and in the people you offer. You don't even have to sell it. Just show it by actions. Actions speak much louder than anything else. So if you're given a chance to demonstrate how your product is better, how you're better, take the demonstration. Show them. Show them how you can do something better. Years ago, I was selling water filters at one point in my life. I was managing a company that had people in the field. And we did a little test. We could show them how the chlorine was in their water. And we give them a taste test. We plugged the unit in. Once they tasted non-chlorinated water, they didn't want to go back. We used to leave it with them for 3 days. We call it the puppy dog sale. You ever give somebody a puppy and try to take it back? Not easy. So that's how, if you get a chance to demonstrate, show how your product or service or how you are better in demonstration with actions. And they'll see it. And they'll value you. And other than that, influencing people's minds, we never control another person. We only can present information that lets them develop in their minds that they want to help. Reach out in your life, whatever you're doing, whatever you're presenting, and let other people get the information from you they need to help. I hope this was helpful to you in influencing people's minds and closing sales, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a nice day.